Knick of Time show. Go check out that show. It's a great show. It's a great show.
New York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Yeah, let's go. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Knick Of Time Show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in nick of time. And guess what, guys? The Knicks just beat the Bucks, even though I have the wrong score up there. Knicks just beat the Bucks. Knicks just beat the Bucks. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys. Knicks beat the Bucks 127-98, and we have contributions from everywhere. Hold on, I'm sorry. Josh Hart gives you 12 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. OG Anunoby gives you 24 points. Karl-Anthony Towns gives you 17 points and 13 rebounds. Bridges gives you 10 points and 6 assists. Brunson gives you 27, and Shamet gives you 15. The Knicks light it up from the three-point line, 21 of 42, shooting 50% from the three-point line, and for 16 turnovers. And off those turnovers, they went on the break, all right, with 23 fast break points to 5. Also, very notable, we saw a lot of Mohamed Diwara minutes and no Jeremy Sohan until garbage time, and we're going to talk about it all, good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm going to change that score soon, all right? But before we do, I'm going to introduce you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to introduce you to our guys, all right? First and foremost, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats.
Ryan G in the building. Knicks put belt to ass tonight. That's all I got to say.
That's all I got to say. And of course, you already know it is the Latin assassin, ESPN contributor, posting and toasting contributor, Bleacher Report contributor. Our guy Lee Escobedo was good, Lee.
Ryan, JL, it's, man, game ball, Mike Brown, bro. Coached a hell of a game. Liked the process tonight. I can't wait to get into this one.
Yeah, and you know what? After the way the Knicks lost the other game with 2 games off, I kind of had a feeling that they was going to come out with that BTA energy, and that's exactly what happened. Jalen Brunson usually, you know, when Jalen Brunson has a bad game, especially an epically bad game that he had the last game, he usually turns up, and today he turned up once again with 27 points and cooked the Bucks in the first quarter. And from the three-point line, from the mid-range, seemed unstoppable. And it seemed like that offensive firepower and confidence permeated throughout the team, from Josh Hart, Karl-Anthony Towns, to even Mo Diwara in some parts, even Landry Shamet. The Knicks passed the rock a lot, had a lot of assists, and it seems like everybody was just pissed. They had time to look at tape. They had time to execute the plan, and they did their thing. So I just want to get your thoughts on the game, and I'll start off with you, Lee. What are your thoughts on today's game?
Well, I'm going to talk about Mike Brown. I think everyone here has been fairly critical of him when he's deserved it. I would have to assume I've been the most critical since I gave him an F during our
yes
reports.
That's assumption. That's good.
And I think he's drastically improved. Right, that was before we went on that 8-9 game win streak. So right now in the aggregate, I would probably give him a B. Tonight was one of his best coached games, and the reason is he answered a lot of the questions we've had as fans for the last couple months. There was a lot of experimenting, right? Those hockey rotations that would come in on the bench would kind of disrupt the flow of the offense, and people would have to learn continuity, didn't really know when they were playing or what their role was. We saw a lot of that shored up tonight. I think this 9-man rotation that we saw, hopefully, is 9-man rotation moving forward until Deuce McBride returns into the lineup from the ab surgery. Now, there's some good things and bad things about that. The part of the Mike Brown system, you know, filling the corners, which we did an amazing job tonight, making sure we had shooters in the left and right corners, which helps the wheel offense and makes all that off-ball movement worth it. But we are a live by the 3, die by the 3 team. When our 3 ball is hitting, not just from 1 or 2 specific people, right? This isn't just our corner snipers and Bridges and OG and Anunoby, but full throttle, the entire 9-man rotation. I would say 60% of that rotation has to be on from a 3 ball in order for us to beat the really good teams and blow out the really bad teams. Tonight was an example of a 3 ball falling, and a 3 ball falling early. What also helped in that, I think, too, is that defined structure. It's hard getting the rhythm when you don't know what your minutes are, if you're going to play that night, if someone's going to have your minutes instead, or what your role is in the offense, or who you're going to be playing alongside. Tonight, I thought the rotations were structured pretty good around Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson when they were staggered, and also good when they were complemented with each other, sharing the floor. Now, what's that rotation looking like? Well, you have your starting five: Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, and Josh Hart. And now the bench is Landry Shamet, Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, and Mohamed Diwara. Interesting over Jeremy Sohan. And I think the big reason for that right now is shooting. Does this stay into the playoffs? Very interesting. I've heard a lot of arguments. Our good friend, Raw Hebrew, has been pretty adamant that he doesn't believe a rookie will be in the rotation for a playoff series. That is true, I think, the majority of NBA history. But this season in particular, you look around the league and you have second-year guy A.J. Mitchell playing major minutes for the OKC Thunder, as well as second-year player Jared McCain playing big minutes for them. You also look across the league at the Detroit Pistons. They have a very young roster. They're not afraid to play rookies and Dennis Jenkins. So I think it's up in the air on whether a young player could be a part of a rotation and be a great contributor once playoff time runs around. The thing about Diwara that makes him so clutch is he's not someone who needs to be able to create his own shot. What he does really well, and it fits within the wheel structure. He hits open corner threes and above the break, and he also is able to put the ball on the floor and closeouts, and he's able to make the right pass and the right read and not turn the ball over. So those are things that wild guard 1 through 5, right? Those are things that I think fit very well into a type of youngster you're willing to take a chance on or willing to trust once things get tight. And it ended up tonight with 127 points, 52% from the field, 50% from three, 33 total assists, league average, only 10 turnovers with that Tom Thibodeau team. This is what the structure looks like when it's implemented the right way, where players know their roles, they know their minutes, and they have their expectations solidified.
Yeah, you know what, Lee? I agree wholeheartedly, and I'll say this. I do feel like we had more of a structure before Sohan got here. And then when Sohan got here, it was kind of helter-skelter trying to mix and match him. And then it didn't feel like he mixed or matched with most players. Especially, we're trying to play him a lot with the bench, and the bench has the most non-shooters, so it's hard for him to get minutes and fit somewhere and just be like, oh, just go with the flow with the bench and see if you can fit in. Like it's very hard for him to do that because he can't shoot. The Diwara skill set is such that he can fit in pretty much with the bench or the starters. So it makes it easier to just look at him play basketball. Like Sohan is a very specific skill set for a very specific type of game or type of energy. Like we need somebody to slow somebody down. He's had the reputation of slowing somebody down, and you put him on the other guy's best player. But it's like we wasn't able to do that for these last few games, really, except for the Pistons game in that short stretch. And when you compare him with other guys, it's not worth it. Meanwhile, the Diwara over here was balling. He was cooking. Even when he didn't shoot well today, I'm looking at this dude like that. He just looks so fluid for a 51st pick. He's developing like a go-to move in a counter. And I'm like, whoa. Like he's going to the hole, spinning right. Once they cut off the right, he spins back left and goes to a scoop.
No.
And I'm just like, and he's doing it instinctively. And I'm like, this is the 51st pick. Like he had 4 for 4 from threes, and he didn't shoot well, but he still had like a good game. I was salivating when I saw McCall and Diwara playing with OG. I was salivating a little bit. Yes, the future could be. If no trades happening, the future could be this, right? Because it's like they were flying all over the place with the long wing defense and the guys who can supposedly shoot. And today they did shoot. So I agree with you, Lee, about the structure, and I also agree with you for your bigger point. Yes, historically, rookies don't play in the playoffs, but the way our team is structured, I can see it. I can see where at least playing spot minutes or minutes over everybody else just because of the comfortability the coaches have with him. So I can see it. I can see it happening, man.
Cook.
Yeah. What you think, Ryan?
First and foremost, Dan Lit B6Q had me kind of rolling a bit when he said, keep Sohan name out your effing mouth. Kind of remind me of Will Smith. And then he mentioned that he's on his Will Smith tonight. So first and foremost, that made me laugh. Secondly, yeah, when it comes to Diwara in the rotation, I wholeheartedly agree. I think with his skill set, he definitely fits into the rotation more than Sohan does. And I also have to shout out Sherwin in the chat as well, because I agree with him also, because I think the times when Mike Brown has used them, he's used them with guys that don't really shoot the ball.
Right.
So when you put Sohan out there with other guys that can't shoot, it shrinks the floor for everyone. And then on top of it, there's not a lot of space to operate. So it's like, if you're going to really use Sohan, you have to really surround him with all shooters or guys that can space the floor that allow Sohan to use his strengths offensively, which is, being a playmaker type big, where he's able to like pass the ball to his, create shots for the guys. But besides that, I think Diwara does match well with what the Knicks do. With the rotation, the fact that he can space the floor with the 3-point shot, he also can defend, and he can, and like you said, like it seems like even though he's a rookie, he's getting more confident with instinctive play instead of thinking on the court, which is what he did earlier in the season.
Right.
So I think, although, coaches do tend to lean towards veterans when it's playoff time, but I think with the way Diwara is playing, and as he continues to grow, I think Mike Brown is going to consider having him in the rotation and probably use Sohan in spot minutes in the playoffs. That's what I would have to assume based on his trajectory at the moment. But yeah, overall, good game for the Knicks tonight. I think what impressed me tonight is that out of all people, Josh Hart set the tone for the game early with his play, with the knocking in 3-point shots and the aggressive play. So I got to give Josh Hart his props. I think he pretty much got all his points in the first quarter.
Did.
Which is kind of funny. So, and then Brunson came in afterwards and got 16 points in the first quarter and really put the game to bed early. And yeah, these Knicks. Now my thing is, okay, you came out with this aggressive mindset against the Bucks, which is one of the lower teams in the East. Now I want to see them come out with the same type of intensity against the Spurs on Sunday, because that's where the Knicks kind of flop. When they face better teams, they usually do not play up to standard against these teams. So I'm just praying that, the way they play against the Bucks, bring that same energy to how you play the Spurs this upcoming Sunday. But overall, great game by the Knicks.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that?
You go ahead.
Appreciate you, bro. Muhammad Diwara, man. Listen, we're all very impressed. This is shout out Walt Perrin, man. Dude's got an eye for talent. He really does. 10 points tonight, 2 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 4 from the line.
Yeah.
My favorite stat of the night, plus 25 in 23 minutes. I like him, man. He, as you said, he's very fluid. He plays with a sense of purpose. Like he knows what he's supposed to do out there. He never lets lost. Tonight he drew fouls. I think he's got a pretty good handle that seems to be able to be trusted for the most part. He used his body pretty well, I think, tonight to shield defenders and get his snake into the middle of a lane and finish through contact. Not a lot of 51st pitch. You see that in year one playing with championship potential and also expectations to also knock down 2 threes without any hesitation. I think that really matters for his confidence moving forward. He doesn't have he's not super fast for his size. I think that's 6'10" too. You don't see too many guys except for Drake Freak who had that insane athleticism, but he does understand angles. I think he cuts really well. He drives really well. That also lends into the fact that he's got a pretty decent handle. I think he needs to learn the next step. I think is learning how to create space and then use that space off the dribble to get his shot off, because defense is going to start steaming for him and take some of that away from his repertoire night to night. I also wouldn't mind seeing him a little bit more action at the nail. Let's use him as a screener and then let him make reads, because the reads I've seen from him so far, tell me if I'm wrong, pretty damn advanced for a rookie who's a 51st pick. Whether he's in a short roll or he catches it on the perimeter, he makes the right dribble handoff, a clean dribble handoff at that, and then immediately cuts to the basket to draw that defense almost at the down screen to get the attention away from the 3-point shot. Again, there's not many guys on a team that you really see that outside of his starters do that on this squad. For a rookie to do that, I think there's opportunities. That's what's going to get him into playoffs. is if he starts becoming a screener and used as a playmaker at the nail or below, to where you can really have in that short roll action and expanded beyond that to start making decisions for Josh Hart or for Mikal Bridges or OG. If you're playing them big with Cat or Mitch, now you have a potential lob threat or a bounce pass in the post when Cat or Mitch have a seal. That expands the offense beyond just him being a catch and shoot shooter. And if we can do that, he will play in the playoffs.
It was a lot to say there. One, I wouldn't bet on it happening right now. I feel like it's going to be a future thing.
Okay.
Only because he's so young, and it's like to give him the responsibility of playmaking while you have Cat and OG and Mikal on the floor at the same time. Maybe in short bursts of everywhere, but I can't see I can't see large portions of that. But I can definitely. But you're right when it comes to his instincts, though. Like he's came into the team a really good passer, making these crazy one-handed bounce passes,
crazy
off the dribble. So I understand what you're saying. So like he just has a lot of potential for sure as a playmaker.
You know me, I tend to jump out the window. So I take what he's come in the lead with, and I say, how does it scale? Right. And to me, it scales with using him as a screener and start to trust him to make decisions. Again, you're right. Not bring the ball up and initiating the sets. But if you're playing with other guys that have mismatch advantages, can he be the guy that makes that entry pass? I think he can be.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You know, and Ryan G mentioned something else earlier that I want to touch on. Josh Hart. Because Josh Hart, I felt like a lot of people shot bad versus against that Cavs game. Josh Hart in particular shot 2 from 8 from 3 during the Cavs game.
Sure.
And I feel like sometimes with a lot of the offense stalls, it starts with Josh Hart, but sometimes if Josh Hart is unsure of his shot, it gets a little bit weird. The floor shrinks in a little bit, and it can be a long night. Tonight, we didn't let that happen. Josh Hart was being guarded by Miles Turner. They were giving him the 3, and he was actually taking it. And I saw a stat today that said that Josh Hart was leading the league in pull-up threes.
Yep.
Yep.
And it looked like when I saw the little graph, I think Lee might have posted it. When I saw the graph too, it looked like by a lot, which is kind of nuts.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is, you would think he's like some crazy pull-up 3 shooter, but no, he just has so much time to shoot the ball. And he probably takes like 1 dribble to set up and then shoot the 3 that it counts as a pull-up 3. I don't know. But like he's leading the league in pull-up 3s, and he did a good job kind of loosening up the defense today, and time for Jalen Brunson to take over. Now in the future, though, when we're not hitting 3s, I felt like in the past we weren't hitting 3s, we offensive rebound. And that's how we were able to stay in games, is offensive rebound. Like another thing I might want the coach to kind of look at is if we're not shooting the 3, have more Mitch. If Josh Hart's not hitting 3s and he's guarding these big power forwards, big centers, put Mitch in there to clean up the glass and get us more shots at the 3-point line or putbacks, because that's kind of been our formula for the year before that. When we weren't shooting 3s, we were still able to stay in games with the defense and offensive rebounding to get extra possessions, and we kind of lost that. Yeah. And I think we have to keep that in mind going forward. If we don't hit from 3, crash the glass. All right. Go ahead.
I'm going to comment a little bit on Josh Hart. I'll start with the good. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, plus 18. Great to see Josh Hart. I know that stat's not one that we judge players on, but when it's in the positive, I'm going to bring it up because it's nice to give Hart some props because he's been a rough stretch.
Yeah.
Overall, especially on the defensive side. I saw that. I saw them putting Miles Turner. That's been kind of the status quo for all of our opponents, putting their center on him until he forces them to change the coverage. And they did. And wouldn't you know it, he was able to attack those closeouts and get downhill Josh Hart. Josh Hart, because that's when maybe he doesn't have the best pass, but I think his reads his passing doesn't match his reads. But when he's finished around the rim, who better on the team can finish around the rim than Josh Hart, especially getting downhill. Love that, right? He was very physical. He made quick decisions in that first quarter. Yeah, I was going to say first half, but it's more the first quarter. But to me, it's when things really slow down in that third quarter, especially when we get into the half court sets on offense. that's when I think he can be a little bit of a liability. That's when the passing can cause turnovers. The decision making, I think, when the defense is set, they kind of play to his weaknesses, and I think he picks up his dribble too early, too often, and that can sometimes stall out the offense too. You're losing precious clock for someone trying to get ready and reposition themselves so you can pass it out before you end up causing, during the tee or whatever it might be, a turnover, what have you. So to me, it's keeping Josh Hart, playing Josh Hart with guys that are going to keep the ball in the pace upward. So Alvarado minutes, I think they're very important. Diwara minutes, Shamit minutes with Josh Hart, which is why I'm an advocate for not having Josh Hart in the starting lineup and playing more with the bench, because the starting lineup tends to be a half-court offense, that they really rely more on the sets more than the bench unit. So to me, it would make more sense to play with guys who are going to keep that speed, so you don't get those opportunities where he's picking up his dribble too early, or he's making a bad read in the half-court set, or he kind of becomes a liability if his three ball's not off and the ghost strings aren't being respected. How do you really implement him into the offense?
Go ahead.
I will say something. I do think Lee makes a strong point there. Knowing Hart's game, Hart does thrive more in the fast-paced game where it's up and down, because Hart, that's what he does. Like when he's pretty much a one-man fast break. That's when he's the most effective. When the game's helter-skelter and you're able to run up and down the court, that's where Hart excels. I think in the half-court sets, he doesn't excel as much. I do think sometimes, like for example, he's able to take advantage of situations in the half court. Like say, for example, when somebody gets double teamed and the ball comes to him, because I do think that when someone gets double and the ball comes to him, I do think he makes good reads off of that and finds the right pass to get makes the right pass to get to a shooter that's wide open for a shot. So I think he's effective in that way. But when a team guards straight man, I do think he doesn't really thrive in that kind of environment. But the thing is, I think Hart has been an integral part of the team, at least this season, from the being in the starting lineup. So I think it would be tough at this point in time to be like, okay, you know what, we're going to take Hart out of the starting lineup and then replace it with somebody else, in the starting lineup. I think with the way things are going at the moment, you have to keep him there. But I do think that if things do change, like for example, in a playoff series where, Hart is not as effective in that starting lineup, then you make that change. But as of right now, he's been pretty solid in that starting lineup. So I wouldn't make any drastic changes to be like, yeah, put him on the bench and replace him. But I do agree with Lee from, the gist of his argument, saying that, yeah, Hart does thrive more in a fast-paced style of play, which means you should play with guys that will keep up that pace, as opposed to a team where they keep it half court.
Good counterpoint.
You know what it is with Hart? Here's the thing with Hart, man. At the end of the year, we usually get sick of Hart. That's usually how it goes. It's the ebb and flows. It seems to happen every last couple of seasons. Go into the season going, he's not a good shooter. He starts off the season hot from three. We're like, wow, look, he's a good shooter now. He's rocking with the starters. He goes to a slump where he's not shooting well, and then we question whether he should be with the starter lineup or not. And then the playoffs comes, he starts hitting threes again. I feel like this is like his story arc for the last couple of years, and I feel like that's what's kind of been happening lately. You know what I mean? This year, he started off shooting well. Look, he's number one in three-point shooting, three-point pull-up shooting. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually shot well for large stretches of time. Is this after All-Star break stretch? Not so much. How long will this keep up? We'll see. But I feel like Hart is one of those guys who benefits from rest and relaxation and his ability to lock in, because he's somehow usually that first series in the NBA, he already knows I'm getting left open for three, and he usually starts to go off from three during that first series at least. So we'll see what happens if the story arc stays the same. But it's kind of look like the story arc right now.
Great combo. We cooked. All right.
Oh man. Speaking of story arcs, I want to talk about Mr. Karl-Anthony Towns, who's been getting up and down reviews all season. I first felt embarrassed, not even embarrassed, when I at some point in the season, I said this is his best defensive season so far. Then he went crappy. Then he played good defense. Now today, I feel like his defense was not good really today, but the last few games it has been good. But on the other side, though, I feel like his offense has just come around. Like he looks completely comfortable, completely different. It was hard pressed watching Karl-Anthony Towns post up the basketball. Today he seems like he's just patient, going over his left shoulder, right shoulder, and he hasn't really caused those offensive crazy fouls with the hooks. We haven't really seen the hooks. I don't know if it's repetition. I don't know if it's the days off or he's had time to practice his post moves against the big man coach, but we did not see any hooks today on the offensive side of the ball. I felt like he looked really fluid, actually, for the most part. The only time it got a little bit weird was when he looked like he was, as B the Motivator was saying in the group chat, glitching when he was going up for dunks in the third and fourth quarter. Missing wide open dunks.
Oh man.
But for yo, B's funny as hell. But for the most part, he looks comfortable. He looks like one of the best shooting big men in the league. He looks like an offensive weapon. He looks like somebody, knock on wood, we can rely on offensively for longer stretches. And this is probably the most encouraging thing I've seen since after the All-Star break. And it's crazy because even with his struggles, there's been numbers coming out on Karl-Anthony Towns, and he has the highest net rating on the team. And this is crazy. I wonder if Deuce McBride would still be in the running if he was still playing. But right now, even if it was Deuce McBride, you can't deny that Cat being number 2 on that list, at the very least, is still a sight to behold, despite all the criticisms that Cat had this season. So, yeah, Cat, another solid game, 17 points, 13 rebounds. I didn't necessarily like the defense from him today, but the offense has been good since All-Star break.
Yeah, Cat has definitely got him more comfortable with the offensive side of the ball, as Lee stated in the past. I think if the Knicks are going to reach the pinnacle, Cat has to be consistent on the defensive side of the ball. And yeah, tonight his defense wasn't all that, but I do like his offensive process tonight, getting into the paint, taking easy shots, and not just settling for the three or just always driving to the basket from the top of the key and hooking players, on his way to the basket. So, I'm glad to see that he's not doing that, and he's just resorting to, getting into the post, taking his time, getting good shots and things of that nature. And I think if he continues to play that way, it will be good for this team going forward. Just either shoot the three, get into the post. You do that often. Maybe sometimes you can drive to the basket, you can get away with that and don't have to hook and finish out the rim. So let's go, Cat.
After a very strange, perplexing 5-shot game where he went perfect from the field tonight, 17, 6 of 13, 13 boards, 4 from the line, plus 21. Most of all, the 13 boards. I mean, that really helps us control the pace. It made sure that, that starting unit, they want to play in the half court. They want to run their sets. And so much of that is Karl-Anthony Towns' ability to dominate the boards, but also implement himself in the offense. Tonight, I thought he was really physical around the rim, but physical without fouling or drifting. I thought just attacking straight ahead through contact without flailing, or as Ryan said, hooking his arms. Also, the 4 at the line. I would like to see those free throw attempts up. I'd like to see the shot attempts up. I've been on record on this podcast, on Twitter, and everywhere. I actually think Karl-Anthony Towns should lead the team in field goals attempts. I don't really care if he leads in points, but just attempts. I want everything to run through him, and I want him to have more touches than he does right now, because when he catches it on the block, and he makes quick decisions. I've been talking about this. Me and Jay Ellis have had multiple dialogues about this. Good things happen. Right, as a stationary hub, when he gets those post touches, and we started out, Mike Brown has made it a point of emphasis to start out with multiple touches in the post for Cat to try to get him going. There's also an extra emphasis on Brunson. Even when Brunson was going for 50 in the first quarter, still looking for Karl-Anthony Towns and still trying to initiate that 2-man game, even though it's still right now a little bit awkward, kind of like my first month on the KOT podcast. Sometimes it takes time to grow that chemistry, but it's weird. It's taking a year and a half for him and Cat to get chemistry. But, when he's out there floating on the 3-point line, tricking up ISO jumpers and threes, that's when he slows everything down, right? He needs to be somebody who is being used properly and catching the ball inside of a 3-point line, so there's less of an opportunity for him to finish around the rim and also not get offensive fouls, and use him more as a hub too. There's a few possessions I thought tonight where he surveyed the floor and made good reads. He's one of our best passers. And I think his reads are strong too. It's just sometimes he'll have the right read and then he'll throw an unbelievably ridiculous pass.
That
right?
pass to Shamet,
Bro, he's had about 5 passes this season that have been some of the best passes I've ever seen in my life. And that is a cat that's going to translate to playoff basketball. Play through the contact, draw the help, make the simple read, don't overpass the read. If he leans into that identity, I think this team's ceiling rises. And I think that him being more active in the offense makes him more consistent on the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Feed that man the ball. And it's funny, like you mentioned, like the Karl-Anthony Towns Brunson 2-man game. It's funny. I've been begging for Brunson to pass him the ball on the 3-point line after some screens for like a year. I've seen it 4 out of 5 games since All-Star break. So I feel like somebody watching the podcast or somebody told them in the All-Star break the same thing, but I want to see a lot more of it. I want to see them spam it, actually. I want to see them spam it because every time I've seen it, it works, man. It works. It works.
Gerson, huh? Are you listening?
Gerson,
yeah. Listening, brother. Pass the word on.
Every time I've seen it, we gotten a good shot. Every single time. Like I've seen Brunson, I've seen Cat scream for Brunson. Brunson go to the side, and Brunson actually hit him with like a behind the back pass when he came to 3-point. I was like, this is what I've been talking about. That read that I haven't seen for a year and a half. You're finally doing that. He's hit him as a trailer 3-footer a few times. So I'm just like, this is big news for me. Work on those passes on the power forwards and the centers. Lobs to Mitch, the behind the back, the pitch back passes the Cat on the 3-point line off of screens. We need those passes. Need to see more. Only seen a couple of times today, but I'm just glad that I'm seeing it at all because we didn't see it for half a season. For real. But yeah, shout out to Jalen Brunson too, who just cooked in the first quarter and cooked everybody else. And shout out to freaking Deuce McBride not replacement, but at least the substitute in Landry Shamet, who's kind of saved us from 3 for the most of the season. He was off last game, and he was cooking today. He seemed automatic. It didn't matter where he got the ball. I just felt like every time he threw it up, it was going in. I was like, oh, this is why I love this kid. This is why. And I hope we can keep him long-term, too, because Shamet is just such a necessary evil for us, man. He's just done everything well. He had 5 threes today, I think.
Yep.
I'll touch on Brunson first because, man, I thought he was going to go for a 50 ball in that first quarter. Ended up finishing with 27 points, 11 of 17 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Love seeing that 3-point efficiency in the uptick. 7 boards for big-bodied Brunson.
Damn.
And 22 of those points obviously come in that hot, scorching first quarter where he went 9 of 10 from the field. And that first quarter set the tone for the entire game. I like that he wasn't settling either, nor was he dribbling the air out of the ball. I thought he did a pretty good job of attacking the defense. Now, Milwaukee doesn't have a lot of bid-long defenders, especially when Giannis isn't playing. And also a moment of silence for Ryan Rollins, who got cooked. Absolutely.
Yeesh.
Barbecue chicken.
Seed.
Listen, man, Brunson was killing the gaps. I thought he did a really good job, did 2 feet in the paint and being able to finish, not settling on those really difficult. He had a few of them, right? Because he was in the offense, but he wasn't settling for those really difficult step back shots. He was making the quick decision. I think a lot of his scoring came within the offense too. We saw him. The whole bag was there, right? The 3-point shot, the pull up was there, the hezzy, the pivot. Taking contact, using his body to carve up space. That's why Brunson MVP tape right there. And I also the hunting of Ryan Rollins. I thought Doc was going to try to maybe go double bid or try to put someone on the bench. Very interesting. They had that Gary Harris. Gary Harris, pretty good defensive guard. Surprised he didn't see a little minutes on Jalen Brunson. Not that it would have mattered. Maybe it would have slowed down and not given him a season high for a quarter this year. I'm not sure. Ryan Rollins finished with a minus 32. I'm sure a lot of Jalen Brunson. But look, man, he was hot and he was still flowing into pick and roll. He was still, even that first quarter, like I said, trying to get Karl-Anthony Towns about. Actually, my favorite sequence of the entire game was that one he had with Mitch on the 3-point line, where he was a screen setter. So he set his screen, he flowed out of it. Mitchell Robinson gave him a dribble handoff, and he pulled up for three. Nice, clean look, utilizing Mitch as a potential of a down screen. Then you have that. Now you're going to throw him a lob, and there's tape on lobs. You have to guard it for the lob, right? It's not so simple and telegraphed in the way that Brunson's going to play. Once you start incorporating Robinson and Cat, they're going to start covering you differently, which is going to give you less coverage on the 3-point line. Use that to your advantage. That 2-man game between him and Mitch and 2-man game between him and Cat, that's a great signifier for, I think, moving into the playoffs and thinking Brunson can not just be your 1A option, but he can also be this table setter to get our bigs involved, which is absolutely paramount to win a chip, is both Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns actualized on the offensive end.
Facts, man. And go ahead, Reed.
I mean, Lee pretty much said everything, but I will add this, though. Seeing Ryan Rollins get cooked the way he got cooked tonight, that put a smile on my face, because usually when this dude faces the Knicks, this dude is a flamethrower from three. It's like he can't miss whenever he faces the Knicks. So seeing him get cooked like that, it put a smile on my face. But yeah, Brunson, I think the one thing I did love about Brunson's game tonight was just the quick decision making. Like it's like he didn't waste any time. As soon as he got the ball, he went into his action, took the shot that he wanted, and made it. And I think, when we talk about Brunson, I think that's what we like to see from him, just a quick decision making and not pounding the ball, trying to, get his shot off that way. Just a quick decision, bang, quick, get your shot up, make it. So from that standpoint, I did like Brunson's game, but yeah, Ryan Rollins get cooked like that. Yeah, that was sweet to the soul.
Shout out Mike Brown and Brunson for spamming the screens, too, to make sure Brunson stayed on Ryan Rollins. Those are the type of things that we always wanted Mike Brown to do at the beginning of the season. When you see an advantage on the court, spam that shit. And tonight he did. He had Brunson screen after screen after screen. Get him on Rollins, and you can add barbecue chicken, because that's going to free up everybody else, right? That's why OG was so wide open and Shamit were so wide open for open threes. That's the offense in our best case scenario we saw tonight.
Yeah, I like that Ryan on Ryan. Hey, any other Ryans you hate today, Ryan, that you want to get off your chest? Ryan, like Ryan Reynolds,
Exactly.
Ryan Cooper.
All the Ryans I hate is on the Bucks. So
okay. Ryan on Ryan. Hey, we love it here. All right. I cannot finish this show without talking about OG Anunoby, who has been playing with one big toe since the All-Star break. I feel like the toenail has grown back, and now his equilibrium has returned with it, because this is his best 3-point shooting game and his best offensive game since he's come back from injury. OG Anunoby to me is one of those indicators. He's one of those guys where it's like he doesn't play well. You're like, it's gonna be a long night. And he was great today. 24 points from OG Anunoby. 5 of 7 from the 3-point line with 2 steals. This is the OG Anunoby I've been accustomed to seeing play. And the thing about OG too, I feel like he usually turns up in the playoffs. I feel like he usually gives us at least 1 or 2 games where he just goes off. And I just need him to get into rhythm. And I feel like this is a good game for him to get back into rhythm. All right. Anything else you guys want to mention?
This was one more thing I'll add about OG. I took a few notes of things that I really like to see. First of all, what I love about OG is that his offense always comes within the flow of the game. Rarely does he muck things up in the way that Josh Hart can, or Bridges can, or especially Brunson can, or even Karl-Anthony Towns can. When OG is just catch and shoot, doesn't try to jab or put the ball on the floor, he's just catch and release. It helps when his teammates are doing clean shots in the shooter's pocket too.
Right.
That rhythm really, more than any other player, gets that wheel action going, because I don't know how you guard in space against the Knicks when OG Anunoby is hitting threes. He doesn't need a lot of plays ran for him. He's not a high usage player. Doesn't need to dominate the game with on-ball touches or on-dribble touches. He scored 24 points tonight on 10 shots, and he played excellent defense. Not as great defense as Mikal Bridges, who played unbelievable.
Yeah.
Again, OG was solid too. I love the process of him this game, Like that he made those. He also has some great reads in the short row too, and the shooters on the left side. Having him in that action again, that's the blueprint for me for Diwara, is be able to trust him at the nail in the short row, attacking their closeout, making the right read. OG, that's where high IQ comes into. OG ain't the best passer, he ain't the best dribbler, but he sees a court, I think, higher than we think he does. And I love the reads he made tonight when he was going at the rim and decided, hey, this is the wall right now, but I have my teammate over there open the corner, and I'm going to hit him in his pocket.
Yeah, I'm just going to have my 2 cents as well about OG. Because besides the fact that he gets his points within the flow of the offense, he's also an elite cutter as well to the basket. Because he showed a couple times tonight that he knows when to cut and presents himself open in that dunker spot. So you have to give OG credit there as well.
Cook.
And this is kind of what makes OG so dangerous for us, because when you think about how our team is built, we don't really have guys who are good at the 3-point line and at the rim. So when OG is hitting from the 3-point line, now you have to close out. Now he's getting you at the rim dunks. And the only person you can say who's good at both, who supposedly is maybe Karl-Anthony Towns. And that has been in doubt this season because he really hasn't been good at either. Like, this has been like his worst at the rim shooting season probably in a long time. So it makes him even more dangerous for us because those are like the 2 highest percentage shots in basketball, right? Those open corner threes and the dunks. Everybody else is kind of like catch and shoot threes. You know what I'm saying? Well, except for Brunson is just, Brunson is Brunson. But this is why I feel like it's so important for OG and we just to get off offensively for us.
Yep.
And yeah, I will mention to Mikal Bridges, only gave us 10 points, but like Lee said, my cardio was up watching him play defense. I was on the couch gasping for air, like, bro, you're not tired? He was flying all over the damn place. So I want to give him his props because we give him such a hard time on this program.
Yes, we do.
For not playing up to what we believe is the potential, whether it be the offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball. But today I thought defensively he just played really good off ball defense and was like the motor was on like 110.
Dude, he's efficient as hell. 5 of 8.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, he's an efficient player. He's been super efficient this season. You just always want him to do more.
Yeah.
It's hard to extrapolate the 5 picks that we paid for him with the production that we see on the court. It's you have to account for it, and that's actually not his fault. That's Leon Rose's fault, if you want to even call it a fault, right? I don't want to argue semantics right now, but 6 dimes, bro. He's damn, and the passing, the high IQ, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. Actually had a couple of drives to the rim tonight, which didn't convert or even hit the foul, but I'll take it. Just stay aggressive. I just want to see more physicality from him overall. And the defensive side, he's going to bring the physicality on the defensive side for a plus 14 tonight. So, yeah, I thought he attacked closeouts really well, had some really smart drop-off passes for his teammates. So he's always going to be a good cog in the system, and he's always going to be a good teammate on the offensive end.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with Mikal Bridges as well, it's like I don't need Mikal Bridges to get me 15, 20 points a game. Like, I don't need that from him. I just want consistent, aggressive play. And tonight, he played aggressive, especially on the defense side of the ball. Like you said, he was all over the place defensively. Like, that's all I really want from Mikal Bridges. I don't need him to give me 15, 20 points a game. Like, just play hard defense, take your shots when they're there, create a bit on the offensive side of the ball. If he does that for me, I'm cool with Mikal Bridges. But it's just that we don't see that from him on a consistent basis. That's the only issue.
Yeah. You know what else is crazy? I'm kind of surprised that Jose only played 12 minutes today or 13 minutes today. Considering I felt like when he was out there, he was a nice little spark. He had 5 assists in freaking 13 minutes. This passing chemistry with Karl-Anthony Towns is
bro.
From day one, it's been there. From day one, it's been there, and we saw it again today. And then he hit it was 1 from 3 from 3 today. Yeah, he had a nice little game today in his 13 minutes of play. But
100%.
Yeah. Next game though, yo. Next game. The Spurs. Ah, man, this is why I wanted to win this game. Also, The Detroit Pistons played the Cleveland Cavaliers today. Sorry, guys, I was a little bit slow setting up today than usual because I had one eye on that Cavs Detroit game that went into overtime, and I was about to be pissed. The Pistons almost got a bruh pick today because they almost lost to the Cavs without Harden and without Mitchell. Went into overtime, but they got us. They got the win anyway. And I'm usually not going to vote for Detroit to win, but when the Cavs are right behind us in the standings, that game was a big one for us. So that keeps us the Knicks in third place and the Cavs in fourth place. Big. So thank you, Detroit, for not blowing it because you tried to for sure. But it sets us up for the Spurs game, man. What do you think about the Spurs game coming up? As I know Brian was kind of concerned about it. We played the Spurs tight every single time so far, and it's funny to say every single time because we only played one game officially on paper. The other game was the Cup. But I'm excited about the Spurs game. What do you think about the Spurs game Sunday?
Spurs, they've won 11 straight games. So you already know this is going to be a hot team coming into the Garden. And at least as of late, or you could say as a whole, with especially the last couple of seasons, the Knicks haven't really shown up against big teams in the regular season. Yeah, the Knicks will have one or two games like against the Nuggets earlier this season or against the Rockets this season where they do show up and play hard and win those games. But against the good teams this season, they haven't really shown up as often as they should. So I think this game is a barometer for this team to see where they're at, especially against a team like the Spurs that are legit contenders with the way they're playing. So I think this game is definitely important because the Knicks have to show at least have to show that, you know what, like we can rise to the occasion against these good teams and beat them. Now, I'm not saying that if they lose to the Spurs, this means that, the Knicks are going to do bad in the playoffs and this and that, because that's clearly not the case. This team has shown that even if teams beat them in the regular season, they can come back in the postseason and beat them. They've done it last season. I'm just saying that I think there comes a point in time where when it comes to the regular season, you have to show that you can rise up to these games and beat these teams. You can't always lose these types of games. You just can't. But like I said, the Knicks are just inconsistent against good teams. They just need to show a bit more consistency when they face these good teams. So I'm just hoping that, they just come in with the same energy that they did against the Bucks, against the Spurs, and just pull out a tough win.
I hopped on Phil's show last night, and he was asking what were our predictions for the next two games. And I said 2-0 because I thought that the Knicks are going to show that they have some heart after being embarrassed by the Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons. I thought they would take care of business against a hot Butts team. Just doesn't have the same talent differential as us. Now, the Spurs team, I think we're going to win. It's going to come down to two things. First, I think the Diwara, I do think Sohan will play, but the Diwara minutes on Keldon Johnson are going to be crucial because Keldon Johnson was someone who absolutely bodied us in the paint. He was crashing the boards, giving them second chance attempts, and finishing well around the rim. We're going to need a combination of OG and Diwara to make sure that he ain't the other guy, right? The random role player that goes out off on him. No disrespect to him, but I didn't like that he was the one who really killed us last game. I expect Wemby, maybe even Harper and Fox, but not him. The other one is Jalen Brunson. You can't get caught up in the theatrics going up against who might be the best on-ball point of attack defender and Stephon Castle. Dude is this year's Dyson Daniels. He is a revelation. He is a ball hawk. And I think he probably plays Brunson better than anyone else in the entire NBA in terms of perimeter and guards. He can guard him on an island by himself. You don't have to double. You don't have to help, which makes it tough for other guys to make shots too, right? Less space they have on those catch and shoot opportunities. But Brunson can't do that. Start going hero ball. I think he's shown distance since the last couple games. Be consistent and not in his own head. And the best case of that was when he was on first quarter, he still looks like a man named Cat. So I think those two keys for the win.
I don't know what happened. My internet crashing?
Yeah, I thought it would be back enough for a second.
Is that me or is it that? I can't hear any of you guys. Y'all sound like robots right now. So I'm not sure if that might be my. I don't know if it's my internet.
I hear
Ryan sounds like a robot to me.
Nobody sounds like a robot to you?
No, Ryan.
Oh, okay, Ryan.
At least I'm a robot to the at least I don't know what's going on.
Both of y'all sound like a robot to me. Yeah, that sucks. Knicks Nation says it's them, Jay. Jay, you're clear, but both are sounding like bots. Okay. All right. Well, damn. Well, Lee was cooking. Well, I guess I'll give my 2 cents and hopefully this thing clears up. For me, you know what? The last time we played the Spurs, it was a very close game, but there was 2 distinct things that I saw was happening. One of them was we was getting cooked. Our defensive discipline was just horrid. Jordan Clarkson, I believe, was in that game when we was playing before, and he was like one of the biggest culprits defensively for us, and he is now not in the rotation. So that should probably change a lot. 2, Mitchell Robinson is a big reason why we were really good in the fourth quarter during the Cup game. Mitchell Robinson did not play the last time we played the Spurs. I think it might have been a back-to-back, I believe. So having Mitchell Robinson back, I think is going to be crucial because I feel like he did a pretty good job on Wemby when we played him the other time. But also, I hope the coach plays him more than 15 minutes for the next game versus the Spurs. So also, this is like the most comfortable Cat has been scoring. I don't feel like even in the first half of the season when he was playing the Spurs, I don't feel like Cat necessarily had like a big scoring game or like some crazy gravity. Like this is a different Cat now. So having Cat in rhythm on the offense side of the ball and actually playing pretty good, decent defense for the last, I mean, if you take out this game, playing pretty decent defense since All-Star break. And so I feel like this is the best Cat we're going to get. So I'm really excited to see how we play with this new team because Diwara wasn't getting minutes before. Now he's getting minutes. Mitch going to be playing. And like you said, man, Jalen has to not get caught up in the one-on-one versus Cassell. And hopefully we beat the Spurs, man, and go into a winning streak like you predicted.
Definitely. And I want to say my fault right quick because I should let y'all lead the charge on thoughts about the Spurs game because I just remembered I wasn't able to watch that Knicks and Spurs game. That first game, a lot of context.
It was a bar burner.
Exactly. I had to go based on like the general Knicks performances against good teams this season. So I definitely should have led with y'all because y'all actually watched the game and could provide better context going into this game on Sunday.
Gotcha. It was a barn burner. We were also offensively on another level during the Spurs loss. Like we barely lost. We leaned too much into offense and not enough into defense, and that was a big reason why we lost because we thought we were just gonna outshoot them. And it's like you're not just gonna outshoot teams. You gotta play both sides. But we'll see. We'll see what happens because all offense is up and down. This is a good game for OG to get his shot back because we gonna need it versus the Spurs. We can't have OG shooting 0 for 9. And now they triple teaming Brunson, and then Cat like we can't have that. And Shamek just can't keep saving us all the time from the bench as a 3-point shooter. So I'm looking forward to this game on Sunday.
Yep, me too, bro. I think we're gonna win.
Me too. I think we're gonna snap that streak. I'm ready. All right. Salute to the chat. I don't think I salute the chat all game.
Big up Fritz, man. Love Fritz.
Shout out to the best mod in the game, Fritz Alessandro, rocking with the KOT show. Amazing. Shout out to Dan Litt, who's a Spurs fan. I feel like if it's Spurs, Knicks fan, I feel like Spurs and Knicks fan. Alexander's GPK, Knicks Nation, Anna Grill, Stanley Nowak. Stanley Nowak he's Tyler Kolek for life. Shout out to you. CJ92063. Who else is in the game? Sherwin, Randu 1973. Glamour Knicks, Phil Porter, if you're still in the building, Felicia Lee, Everybody rocking with the KOT show, man. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. We have the every game talking Knicks basketball, and you're here on a Friday night rocking with us after Knicks win versus the Bucks. And I'm glad you are rocking with us. All right. Shout out to Craig Ward too. I see you, Craig. All right. Any bruh picks today, fellas?
Yeah, I do got some bruh picks actually. A couple, matter of fact.
Okay.
My first bruh pick goes to Draymond Green. Because I don't know if you've been watching the Warriors lately, but dude's been stinking up the place, especially with Steph Curry being out with injury. And the game against, I believe, was the Pelicans. He was he wasn't at the free throw line, but he was positioned at the side, where players line up at the free throw line, trying to position to get a rebound off of a potential miss. So
I already know. I already saw this. I already know where you're going.
So as this dude is trying to, get into position to grab a rebound off a potential miss, DeAndre Jordan is kind of like blocking him out, and this dude proceeds to hop on this dude's back. Like they say, save a horse, ride a cowboy, but that's what he was basically doing to DeAndre Jordan, just riding this dude's back for no damn reason. It's like, dog, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you doing that? Like, what's the purpose?
That was
like,
so
come on, man.
Weird, yo. I seen the comment section on it. It was like, man, this dude is literally a backpack. They literally carrying you for real. They on the other team. I was like, damn, yo.
Bruh.
I never seen a grown man get a piggyback ride in a basketball game before. That was no.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He did. His feet was all, the piggyback feet. He was.
All the same for you. The pause is for him, for sure.
Oh man, for sure.
And my next bruh pick goes to college basketball because I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life. So the other night, St. John's went up against UConn, which is two of the best teams in the Big East. Both unranked within the top 25, and it was a huge game for both teams. Down the stretch of the game, St. John's missed 24 straight field goals to end the game. Missed 24 straight field goals.
Bruh.
To end the game as UConn proceeded to blow them out. Pause.
Damn, you gotta pause everything now these days. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, Knicks scored 11 the other day, so I can't even be bad. I feel you. 24 straight shots is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, those are my two broad picks.
All right.
I got a new pick. Uda KOT team, specifically JLS and Ryan. I missed the last two post games. Haven't been here. I hope most of y'all are happy to see me. But I will say, man, it can be dark and depressing, man, not be on the show. I didn't get a chance to watch either of them live. One, I was doing some freelance work. The other one, I was with my father. But the next day, it's just not the same, man. It's not the same pie on here with the world going to absolute hell. Sometimes this is like the best thing I do all day. Sometimes it's the best thing I do all week is just sit on here and break down basketball and have a great distraction with two of my favorite people in the whole world. So appreciate, again, being able to have this opportunity and chop it up with you guys. And a Knicks game is not the same when I don't get a chance to break it down with both of you afterwards.
Oh, all right. Salute to you, man. All right, I'm bringing my bro pick somewhere else that might not expect. My bro pick goes to 50 Cent.
Bruh.
If you guys are living under a rock lately, 50 Cent and T.I. have been going at it for the last week. And you know what? When you're having beef or Twitter beef or something, there's usually like a line that you shouldn't cross. And 50 Cent continuously crosses the line. He's an habitual line stepper. And when you start talking about people's wives and posting Peach's wives on the timeline with egregious captions, you kind of you kind of deserve whatever turmoil comes your way. So it's like just bro pick for 50 Cent for the classes.
Bruh.
That's crazy. You got I never seen a beef where T.I. and two of his sons are all dissing 50 Cent at the same time. Like, that is wild. I've heard more diss tracks in the past 4 days than I have in like 10 years of rap. Like, T.I. dropped 4 diss tracks. His son dropped, and each one of his sons dropped one. I was like, oh my God. There's 6 diss tracks this week?
His son.
Brother. Oh man.
50 the king of petty, he's the king of disrespect.
Yeah.
One of T.I.'s sons could actually rap. Not
King.
Not that.
Or the
other one. I don't know the other kid. The other kid, he actually did something where it was like a Miss Jackson flip, because Curtis Jackson is his name, so he like did a rap. It was like a song to his mother or something. I was like, oh man, that's a different angle. I was kind of feeling that. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, shout out to him. All right, that's my bro pick.
Bruh.
All right, took it off of Knicks world and basketball for a second. All right, good show, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. Yo, Lee, let them know where they can find you, sir.
On Twitter at _Lee Escobedo, LeeEscobedo. As I mentioned on Phil's show yesterday, I got lots of heat. My first essay for the Nation dropping, that essay for the Guardian, all kind of going over like Steph Curry's investments in IDF drone technology, as well as Robert Pera funding spy software being used in the Ukraine war. So lots of stuff in the NBA giving me plenty of fodder to do research in and discuss and kind of show just how corrupt everything around us is.
Yeah. Oh man, I got another damn bro pick. I ain't want to get there. Oh my God. Oh gosh, I was trying to stay away for a little bit. Just reminded me. Go ahead. Go.
Do your thing, bro.
I wish I remembered the girl's name and position exactly, so I can say this. What's this lady's name? All right, Donald Trump again. Then. Damn it,
Bruh.
damn it, Donald, yo. Donald Trump, man. He talks about DEI all the time, and he always says DEI is to keep the unqualified from getting gigs. And this man fires a qualified U.S. Surgeon General who went to school, college, degrees, whole 9 yard, to once again hire a white loyalist with no credentials whatsoever.
Bruh.
Proving once again that he wants this nation to be qualified, but the only if you're not white. If you're white, you don't have to be qualified in Trump's eyes. But if you were a person of color and you have 3 degrees, it doesn't matter. It is crazy because the black unemployment rate is the highest since COVID, right? But also, the black unemployment is the highest since COVID, and these DE&I initiatives have helped mostly white women, but their unemployment rate hasn't been dropping like ours. So what's the correlation here? Like, I feel like the more and more he shows himself, the more and more racist he exposes himself to be. I don't care where he showed up for Black History Month. I don't think a person who's deleting Jackie Robinson's credentials from the government website likes Black people. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Bruh.
It's tough out here, man. You're at a very dark place in human history when the potential exposure of alien life forms is a distraction from the pedophile satanic ritual ring that runs American government at every single level. You're really deep in the shit when that's a current predicament in American life. The block layoffs yesterday were a very scary trend. It looks like that AI has already started the first domino of massive layoffs that are going on across this country. They optimize their workforce. I mean, they cut about 45% of their workforce, not because they were losing money, but just because they had the opportunity to make more, and their stock immediately jumped right after that. So these type of incentives to see people's labor being eliminated, there's a potential here for like post-apocalyptic Mad Max type warfare in America, where there's just no jobs to be had. It's not like, oh, you get fired, now you can upskill and learn this new thing. Oh, that new thing you just learned also got replaced by AI too. So now you're just a cog in a really like post-industrial system where independent thought and liberty and civil justice and self-sustainability are not even, they're just figments of your imagination. It really feels that every day we're living more and more in a simulation. It's not just a simulation, it's like a nightmare simulation where everything is really dark, depressing, morbid, and satanic. That's why so much. That's why I really said I love coming on this podcast and talking to you guys, because yes, sports are a distraction, but it doesn't mean that you cut your eyes and ears off from what's happening in the outside world. This conversation between us, to me, is just as valuable and as important as breaking down the pick and roll game between Cat and Brunson. And I'm very thankful I have you guys to do it with.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is rough out here. So, woof.
Facts.
Oh man, yeah, it's rough out here. Everybody, you learn what you can. Try to level up. Do what you can. Don't. Man, I try to tell all my friends not to depend on one job or one gig. And I try to do the same thing myself. I try to like branch out as much as possible to many different things. But I advise everybody to do the same. Everybody need to learn a side hustle. Damn it, everybody. Shoot, even if it involves AI, even better. Even better.
Yep.
Hi, yo, Ryan G. Let them know they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is chillin.
Sir G is chillin.
That's SIRGCHILLIN.
All right. I told you, I did you already, right, Lee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You can find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. Also, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. All right. We'll be back. Knicks, Spurs, be here or be square as we break down that game. All right. That is the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
Mercer here in these streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.